This is ST-321, code clearance blue. We're starting our approach to deactivate the security shield.
Hi, I'm Paul and I'm with my mate James and welcome to Code Clearance Blue, a show where we discuss all things Star Wars from our home here in the UK.
We would be honoured if you would join us.
I've been looking forward to this.
Hello and welcome to Code Clearance Blue. We're back for another week of Star Wars shenanigans. Here we are sort of on a Thursday at home trying to talk all things Star Wars, bit of news this week, and then we've got a nice little feature coming up today. So obviously I'm here with James. How are you, mate?
Yeah, all good, mate, all good. Looking forward to getting stuck into our feature. It's quite a good one, I think.
Yeah, I think so. No, it's a bit quiet on the series front. It'd be quite good to have a little look back again. Last week's episode got some good comments and good people watching, so it's good. So we like that. Reviewing if you still want to watch it, we reviewed the original trilogy's cutscenes, which was quite nice to see again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what sort of news have we got this week? What's been about?
I've kind of been reminiscing this week because we haven't had a new series to get stuck into. So I've rewatched The Acolyte and I started watching Kenobi again last night. Yeah,
Kenobi, yeah. I was watching a little bit of Rogue One, actually. You know, so I was like on Instagram and scrolling, and they showed that scene where the big Star Destroyers, destroy the, sort of above Scarif, that little bit. I thought, fancy a bit of that. Fancy watching that again. And just because it is such a great ending to a film, I would say it's definitely one of the strongest ones,
Yeah.
As an end of a Star Wars film. Obviously, because it tees up our beloved Episode 4 nicely. Yeah, so I sort of watched that again. I just and it's a great film. It's a great film.
Yeah, it's really good. I actually showed it to my youngest because he was like, "Have we got any other films to watch?" And I said, "Well, only Rogue One and Solo to go. We've done the main sort of 9 episodes." So he said, "Okay, what's Rogue One about?" And I told him. He said, "Okay, we'll watch some of it." So we watched like the first hour or so, and then he kind of said, "Oh, can we do something else?" Because I think for sort of kids like 7, 8, 9 years old, it can be a little bit dry in places, I think.
Yeah.
So, but he really loved K2.
Yeah.
Got the humour straight away, and now he walks around saying, "Did you know that wasn't me?"
Sarky. That's sort of that's good. Well, we're going to talk a bit about Droids a bit later on, so he comes up.
Hey, it's a rich tapestry, this show, mate. We know how to interweave. We know how to make things fit together,
Hey, mate, that's it. That's what we're here.
So I think news-wise, the biggest thing that kind of got people talking on the internet was apparently for such a really crap show, according to some people, the Acolyte was the second most watched show on Disney Plus in 2024.
Wow.
Now, you can take it with a grain of salt. Apparently, it was like over 2.7 billion minutes viewed or something like that across the year.
Wow.
It only came out in June as well, didn't it? I think. Was it May, end of May, early June?
Yeah.
So obviously, I compared to other platforms and other series, I think that's still quite a relatively low number. But the fact that it's still in second place across the whole of the Disney Plus platform means a hell of a lot of people must have hate watched it.
Yeah, definitely a lot of reruns going, this is why I hate it. Poor. But when you were saying that sort of the other day, I checked out the budget and it went over budget quite a lot. You know what I mean?
I think that's the key reason we're not going to get series 2. I think
so. Yeah.
They spent was it about $250 million or something?
Yeah. It was a huge amount. I think a lot of it was reshooting as well, and I don't know if that includes the marketing costs or if that's just production. Because the marketing, remember when we were saying at the time, I mean, we were saying, it's on the side of buses and like it's on the radio and, like you could see every YouTube ad, it was pushing it. So they would have chucked a bit of money behind that as well. So, so I think it's good he got the numbers, to keep them interested with continuing Star Wars, series, because we want to do that. So, but yeah, I don't think we'll see. But I think we can obviously see a little bit of we definitely can see a Plagueis series,
Well, that's the thing. I think, it didn't help that his agent demanded $15 million just for him to make that cameo. I mean, that.
Yeah, those fucking eyes, mate. They're famous.
He'll
Those
do
long
it, but
fingers.
He wants this. Yeah. I'm sure they can continue it in a comic book or a novel or something like that. But I'd really like to see it as a series because, as I say, I watched it again this week. And I still really enjoyed it, and just like that ending when they just like go into Yoda's little meditation room.
Yeah.
Oh, Venestra's doing some dodgy shit here. She's definitely. Do you know what? That scene. I think at the time we were like, she's talking on one of those microphone things.
Yeah,
and she's like, I really need like your advice or your help, and the voice is like, I'll see what if I can get in touch with them or something like that. Like. It sounds so much like Palpatine, but I know he probably wasn't born then, but could be his dad.
Yeah.
Who might not be anything to do with like the Force or whatever, but sounds like Venestra's obviously getting a lot of pressure from the Senate and everything. So maybe he could have been like an ally on that side of the fence.
Yeah.
But like, I just sat there and thought it just sounds so much like him, but unless because they're mucking around with the whole cloning thing. Could it be Palpatine?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it could be. He's sort of around, isn't he? No, he's not. Is he?
It's just no. By rights, he shouldn't be because it's like, say in the Phantom Menace, he's like 35 or something or 40. We've still got so that he would have been born 60 years. After the events of the Acolyte.
Yeah.
So, no, it probably isn't him then. But the voice was just like, it's too much of a recognition for them not to have done that maybe on purpose,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But, so that's quite interesting. That it's got a good viewing and sort of, I definitely think a lot of the larger influencer Star Wars sort of people definitely saw an opportunity to go aggro for their own benefits, and I think that's a bit unfair. Obviously you had people that were kind of anti sort of the woke thing going on, the political side of it as well, particularly more in America than over here. But whereas I didn't really pick up on that too much. Do you know what I mean? I just thought it was a Star Wars series.
Yeah, I think it got kind of swept up in the culture wars that are going on at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where it's easy for people that want to make a buck off of like YouTube and Twitter and stuff to be like, oh, I can't believe that they've made two of the characters lesbians, or like there's hardly any white people in it and stuff. And it's like it gathers traction because obviously there's a lot of that stuff going on at political level, like in real life,
Yeah, totally.
Which is a shame, but I mean. A lot of people are pushing back against that fact, saying that it's still quite a relatively low number. But to be the second most watched thing on an entire platform is still pretty impressive, I think.
Yeah.
So I think it's just the budget, like you said earlier. I think if they went back and said, all right, you can do season 2, but we're only going to give you like half the budget you had for the first series, I'm sure they could still make it work.
Yeah.
Don't know. Something to think about, Disney.
Yeah, totally. Any more news for news?
No more news, no more views. Just carrying on the trend that we started last episode, just want to give a shout out to a convention that's taking place here in England. And this is a really good one, actually. It's kind of a charitable one for the Royal Free Hospital, which is in Hampstead. It's Maggie's Royal Free. And they do once a year like a little convention over the weekend of June the 7th and 8th. And they've got tons of Star Wars guests going this year, like absolutely loads. So including like friend of the podcast, Jack McKenzie.
Yeah.
Who did an interview with us. Brendan Wayne, who plays he's one of the three main guys that brings the Mandalorian to life. I think he does a lot of the gunslinging scenes, I think.
Okay.
Bit of stunts and things. You've got people like Tina Simmons, who's in Return of the Jedi, Jerome Blake, who played many different parts across the prequel trilogy, another friend of the podcast, Rick Stanley, who was our first ever interviewee, him and his wife Stephanie, who appears in The Empire Strikes Back, they're going to be going. So if you're interested in meeting any of these stars from across, well, pretty much the whole of the franchise, really, 7th and 8th of June, just Google Maggie's Royal Free Hospital, and it's all the details are on their website.
Nice, good stuff. Sounds like a good little day out.
Yeah, I think if I've got the opportunity, I might toddle along myself and get a couple.
Yeah.
So.
Good stuff. Cool. Well, let's move on to today's little theme that we were thinking about, and we are going to look at the galaxy's, underdog, as George Lucas always used to say. He said that the stories are written from an underdog's point of view, and C-3PO and R2-D2 it's told from their point of view sometimes, and so I think that's what we're looking at. We're looking at the droids that have made us laugh. Some made us cry. Some made us cringe. Some made us whatever, So yeah, what do you think?
Wait, how deep are we getting with this?
How deep are we getting? I can't think. There was an emotional bit in where 3PO says, "A last look at my friends." That was quite emotional, I thought.
That was, yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, so we should start with number one and have a little look at that.
Yeah, I must. Let's just inform the listener that we set the parameters that we're only doing episodes 1 to 9 and Rogue One and Solo. We're not doing any of the live action TV stuff or any of the animated stuff. So please don't write in saying that we missed your favourite droid from Star Wars Resistance or something, because we're not including those.
Yeah. Sorry, Chopper. You binned. Chopper, you binned. There we go. Cool. So that was what we're now thinking. So anyway, episode 1. We could start with some droids.
I mean, to be fair, plenty of new droids started there. The old battle droids.
Battle droids, yeah. Who we realised were pretty useless by the end of the film. Yeah,
not half.
But we realised why they don't exist in Star Wars Episode 4.
Yeah, I think there's a really good bit on the making of the Phantom Menace documentary where George Lucas is actually explaining I think it's to Steven Spielberg, he's actually got like and obviously all the battle droids were CGI in the films, but like they've actually got like a model of one made up just so they can see what it looks like and stuff. And I think he says something like, the Jedi just go through these like butter. They're not really very good.
And we do see that.
Spielberg's just like, it's great. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, voice-wise, they're quite funny, aren't they? Roger. They're very robotic. Obviously, when Qui-Gon says we're going to Coruscant, does not compute. Very, very computery, very basic. So they sort of play their role, and there's plenty of them, and the lightsabers do go through them like butter.
Where do you fall on that though? Like, because I think that whole that sort of like funny bit about Coruscant, and then later on, when like in episode 3, where Grievous like snatches the lightsaber out of one of their hands, and they're just like, "Oh, you're welcome," like that. Like, where do you sort of fit on them having that kind of a personality against maybe just being simply like Roger, follow me?
I think they should have just kept it really straight, because we need to keep those characters really stupid and straight and robotic. I think when they get a bit, things like "you're welcome" and just I don't think they should have any thinking process, because the whole point of them is that they lose. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think they just win on scale. Just because you can produce. As we saw in the sort of end scene, the war scene, it was just a big scale of them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like sort of win by numbers.
But if you switch the button off in the main controller, then they will stop working. So
Look, Jar Jar.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's your battle droid anyway. And obviously they make a little appearance in some of the series as well, a little bit later on in The Mandalorian, but we'll move on.
Yeah. That's all good. Obviously, the droidicas as well make their first appearance. They're pretty impressive as a war machine, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're very good. The droidicas.
Even the Jedi are just like, I don't think we're going to do much here. We better skedaddle.
Yeah, so they do. They're quite good with their little shields.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose obviously our two heroes, as it were. This is their sort of introduction and debut. And what did you think of sort of their debut? Obviously, R2-D2 has a bit more of a heroic introduction than 3PO.
Yeah, I think
where he's obviously the hero Astro Droid when they all get shot off, and he comes in and he reads his name on the side.
See, that's the thing. Like, I think it's a really good way to introduce R2. It shows that he's helpful and he's brave and everything. That whole bit where they're like, "What's his name?" and he goes like, Panaka goes over and like that, because we're such fans and because we've got the history with the character already. It just feels a bit kind of like, here's an establishing shot of someone that you that you know. Do you know what I mean?
How are you introducing them? And then I thought it's also the same. It's quite nice to see 3PO sort of half, made, and the fact that Anakin's made him as well is another little twist, I suppose.
What do you think about that? I mean, is that necessary?
It's not necessary, and also Anakin, you would think would recognise 3PO when he sort of sees him. He doesn't really see him through the trilogy, though, does he?
He does bump into him in Attack of the Clones, doesn't he?
Yeah, but I'm sorry, I'm talking about like the original trilogy.
Oh, sorry.
You might see him run away on the Falcon. Episode 4 as he's just about to take on Obi-Wan. Maybe, I don't know.
Can you imagine if he's just like
3PO?
If he just kind of like looks forward in his helmet, he's just like, "Is that no?" It can't be.
You just hope that the dark side's taken his brain over so much that he's forgotten these little memories of him building a droid when he was 8 or 9.
When 3PO always says like, "Thank the maker."
Yeah.
I mean, that's talking about Anakin, really, isn't he?
He is, yeah. So yeah, it could be one of those little Star Wars plot holes, or it could be just a nice gesture. I don't think it was necessary, but it's quite nice, isn't it? And again, 3PO's got a bit of humour in this. Yeah, you kid. Things like that. So yeah, I think it's a nice introduction.
Yeah, I think so. I think it is good. I'm just saying, like, sort of like being a long-established fan. It's like, I mean, to be fair, when we saw it in America, everyone cheered, didn't they, when that happened? And that's quite a nice little, like, it was quite a nice atmosphere to be within, and that, But I think 3PO. Yeah, it's a good way to introduce 3PO as well. Just trying to think if there's any others that we missed.
Well, we've got the first scene. Which is a silver 3PO TC-14, do you remember?
Oh,
yeah. Who sounds like a female version of C-3PO.
Yes.
Now, considering 3PO's been made on Tatooine, it's very similar, isn't it? So there must be an instruction manual.
I think there must be. Yeah, there's like, they sell them like Lego kits.
Had to build your own Prequel droid, yeah. So
yeah, that was played by John Fenson was inside the suit, and I think Lindsay Duncan did the voice.
Right.
Because John Fenson was just a really random little sidebar. But when me and my partner were going into labour to have our youngest, I remember being at the hospital, and obviously, you know what it's like when you're a guy in that situation. You're kind of a bit of a spare part, aren't you? You can't really do too much.
Yeah.
And I remember I was conversing with John Fenson about getting his autograph because he did it through the post. So I was swapping emails back and forth with him, and I was saying to him, "Oh, I'm actually like at the maternity ward at the hospital right now. My partner's going into labour and stuff." And like, he's like, "Oh, I hope it goes really well. So anyway, what colour ink do you want?" And I'm like, "Yeah, if you do it in black." And then
Oh, dedication. There we
Oh,
go.
yeah. There's always an avenue to get something. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But that was. I think you're right. Maybe that's kind of like because we get quite a lot of protocol droids scattered throughout the franchise, don't we? And they all look
do.
pretty similar. So I mean, maybe that's just kind of like the identikit sort of airfix model.
And they all have a British accent. Obviously, I think that the we'll talk about it as we kind of move on. The British accent, with droids seems to be a thing, and obviously some of them have got British sort of traits, like obviously sarcasm or that humour, or the fact that we're a little bit sort of 3PO negative, what I mean, a bit pessimistic. We don't share the American optimism sometimes. We're a bit more pessimistic, like a 3PO.
Yeah.
Don't tell me the odds, that kind of thing.
I quite like Darth Maul's little camera droids that go flying around Tatooine.
Yeah, they're good.
They're pretty good. Quite handy.
Sort of early sort of droids. But yeah, no, I think certainly with those kind of droids, and then sort of we can move on to number 2, Clone Wars. Just trying to think there. I always remember the lady, the one in the diner. That's always springs to mind when we talk about Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
You always bring her up.
I know. That diner. That's where it gets a bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's very much like George Lucas has fond memories of 1950s diners. So, yeah.
Yeah, let's get one in Coruscant.
Yeah, definitely. Someone to see you, honey.
Yeah, exactly. But one thing that sort of cracked my sort of older one up is the fact that they get a droid to try and install the sort of long caterpillars who I think are to kill Padme.
Oh yeah.
So the fact that you've got these powers of handing off, Palpatine down to Dooku, down to Jango Fett, down to everyone just outsources it, and then you just get some massive long centipede to kill her. You saw a YouTube clip of someone just saying how everyone outsourced this assassination attempt, and then obviously the second time, oh fuck it, let's just blow up the plane. that didn't work.
It's getting too complicated. Just get in a bomber and fucking
blow the thing up.
A bit, yeah.
on Coruscant, yeah. So that always sort of cracks him up.
Yeah, that is funny, yeah.
And obviously a droid was in the middle of all of that.
Yes. Yeah. And then obviously 3PO, the evolution of 3PO, he gets his kind of like rusted tin covering.
Yeah.
Whilst he's now living on the farm with the Lars family.
Yeah.
Which is good, and I quite like that evolution, because then it doesn't mean that he's just kind of gold from minute one.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, keeps him going.
And obviously R2 pulls out a little trick out of the bag, doesn't he, with those little thrusters that he's got?
That's it. Yeah, R2's got another little Swiss Army knife trick, and he starts flying.
That bit in Empire Strikes Back where Luke and R2 are kind of like sneaking around Bespin, and then like Luke goes through a doorway and there's like that much of a like little wall sticking up like in the gap.
Yeah.
And R2's just like, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
I can't go.
Oh shit, I can't make it. I can't roll.
So like, what happened to your thrusters then?
Yeah, where'd the thrusters go? Did they get deactivated?
Do you know what I mean?
Maybe got deactivated when he
upgrading your downgradings.
Yeah.
Free ringing?
The old Jawas.
That cracked me up in Kenobi. Just another sidebar when that Jawa pops in and he's like, "Oh yeah, I've got you this. Like, what else do you want?" And then he starts trying to sell him his own stuff back.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. So clones. Obviously we had sort of continuation of the main characters, really, battle droids and 3PO, R2.
Super battle droids pop up at the Geonosis.
They do. Super battle droids turn up.
They obviously got your memo.
Yeah,
the normal battle droids crap.
Yeah.
Got to do something else.
So we'll do something else. And then, was there any more in... trying to think now.
I just thought of the one that who's like readying Dooku's little ship at the end.
Oh yeah, he's a good one, isn't he?
He's all right, isn't he? Like he sort of like pilots it for him, and he kind of puts his bags on and all that. Very handy. I could do with one of them. Knocking about.
Yeah. And then we can move on to episode 3, where I think is this where the buzz droids are happening at the beginning?
Yeah, buzz droid action at the start. Yeah,
buzz droids on the wing. They seem like a pain in the arse.
Yeah, and another, like to your point about the original battle droids, it's scale of the things, isn't it? It's like just if there's so many of them, you can't really fight them off.
Yeah, and then obviously Anakin with because he's such a great pilot, as we know, he brings his wing over and starts knocking them off Obi-Wan's wing.
He's such a great pilot that he just starts ramming him in the atmosphere of orbit, like.
Such a great pilot.
He's brilliant.
And then, we see a bit more General Grievous and his sort of sidekick droids.
Yeah, so Grievous is more like a cyborg, though, isn't he, than a droid?
He is, yeah.
Because he originally was that alien creature and then kind of added to himself. But he's an interesting one. I like him. I think the whole coughing thing is quite off-putting for people that don't know how he got the cough. Because he's just doing it. And to the average cinema goer or whatever, they'd be like, why is that robot coughing? Yeah. So like Darth Vader can't breathe properly. This guy's coughing. Like, there must be some sort of like bird flu going around or something.
Exactly in the galaxy. But I thought his little droids mates were quite good with their sort of fake lightsabers.
Oh, the Magna Guards.
Yeah,
they're quite good. So so like the sort of the pulse at the end of those things can like block lightsabers and stuff. So that's pretty nifty. We hadn't really seen that before, had we? I don't think.
No, I thought that was quite good.
And they're resilient as well. I mean, Obi-Wan decapitates one of them and he's still going.
Yeah.
Absolutely loving it.
He's still going on, isn't he?
Yeah.
We didn't mention the fact that C-3PO obviously gets mixed up as a droid and has a new head.
Of course, yeah. Now some of that is really on the nose.
Yeah. Because we keep cutting back to it, don't we, in the arena? So we've got full-on action going on, and then we cut back to 3PO going, die, Jedi, die! You're like, oh, no, okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit. And then, like the film, you see all the action and everything, and then they literally do this one cutaway where it's like, tonight, starring C-3PO, it's stand-up comedy evening.
Yeah.
Oh, this is such a drag.
Yeah, it's such a drag.
It's like they've literally just put that in there, like for the sake of that, which is, it's okay, but I don't know. I don't even think kids laugh at it that much after they've seen it.
I don't think so. No. Yeah. So. That's quite. Anyway, but yeah, sort of going back to 3. Got those sort of the Magna Guards. They were really good, I thought.
Just trying to think who else pops up.
What's C-3PO like in episode 3? Is he?
He's gold now.
He's gold now.
Yeah, because he left with Anakin and Padme to go to Geonosis and all that. I think they just. I don't know actually. I think the Lars must be like. Has anyone seen our protocol droid? I've never thought about that before. That's a really interesting one. Did they kidnap him?
I don't know. Yeah, I can't remember why he gets involved.
Oh, Baru's like, can you get C-3PO because I need to speak Barchi to someone?
Yeah.
Owen's like, ain't he with you? No, I thought he was with you. No, has anyone seen 3PO?
Bloody, maybe that's why they have to have the things on them. Stuff because he just think, just keep losing too many fucking droids, keep wandering off.
The restraining bolt.
Restraining bolt, that's it. So there you go, that's the reason.
Baru's just like, have you lost another protocol? I can't believe it, Owen. I can't leave you with anything, can I? And then they have an argument, and then
And then R2 fucking knows, and he knows in episode 4 how to get that restraining bolt off.
yeah, of course he does.
It's affecting him.
That's a really good point. But I mean, Padme's like, oh, look, if we are going to nick this droid, we better make him look different.
Yeah,
Fetch me the gold clothes.
exactly.
I've never thought about that before. How funny.
So yeah, so there's not many sort of new ones in Sith. It's obviously very Jedi focused.
Yeah, the super battle droids get a little comedy moment, don't they, when they're like faffing around. Oh, we didn't talk about the pit droids in Phantom Menace.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Obviously heavily influenced by the Three Stooges, which is something we didn't really get over here in the UK, but was very popular in the States, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I quite like
the pit droids. They kind of come back, don't they?
Yeah.
Press the nose.
Yeah, they pop up in Mando and stuff, don't they? I think they're like the sort of thing that they get up to is quite funny because it's kind of half background and it's not really like the main focus of like what's going on, but they're like amusing. So
yeah.
That's all good. But yeah, sorry, they just popped into my head.
I think we're going to do a bit. We'll bounce around a bit, everybody.
Yeah. But yeah, the super battle droids get a little moment to have a bit of banter, didn't they, as well? And early on in the film, and then I can't really think of many others that we haven't covered.
No, it was very sort of Jedi heavy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And sort of more breathing people rather than droids.
So should we do it in number order, or do you want to divert off to the standalones and then go back?
Yeah, we can go to Rogue One now if you want, or Solo.
Yeah, that's
Solo
fine.
first.
Yeah. So Solo was more. I mean, of the main one is L3.
Yes.
Took a lot of flack for that one, didn't they, online from a certain portion of the fan base, I think.
Yes. Yeah, because they're trying to do something different with maybe droids and relationship with humans.
Now, strangely enough, I don't think that was the main gripe, actually.
Oh, okay.
I think it was more that she was quite like a feminist trope or something. I think they were worried about women having too much of a voice or something.
Okay. As a sidekick in the Millennium Falcon. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it was played by help me with this.
Go on, my son, you know it.
Oh, I don't know. I can't. I know what she looks like.
She's got a double-barreled name. So.
Yeah, she's in the new Indiana Jones.
That's it.
Obviously British. Obviously.
To your point, another Brit.
Yeah, another Brit in there.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Phoebe, well, that's it. Thank you very much.
Phoebe Waller, holla for Waller.
Phoebe Walla. There we go. Happy days.
Imagine Omega saying that.
But yeah, she's on a bit, that sort of, like you said, that feminist. She wants droid independence and things like that, which I thought was quite funny. But yeah, it's a new angle.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. She's not my favourite droid, though. I mean, she does go on quite a bit, but I mean,
she has a go at him.
Yeah, she has a go at him as well, quite a lot as well, which is funny. Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was interesting that they did allude to the fact that her and Lando were getting it on,
and he was flirting with her.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, and then, but she also sort of says to Emilia Clarke's character, like she sort of says something that's like really a bit pervy. Do you know what I mean? Like in regards to Lando or something. And I'm just like, oh right,
what's going on here then?
Yeah, I mean, Lando's just up for anything, and he just loves it.
Yeah. It's just loving it. So so that's from Solo.
And she makes a cameo, to be fair, as well, in Empire Strikes Back. You know, when because she gets put into she puts herself into the Falcon, doesn't she, to like help it?
Oh, of course.
Take the thing, and then in Empire Strikes Back, like for C-3PO, it's like, I don't know where your ship learnt to communicate, but it's got a very strange dialect or something.
Yes. Well done.
Yeah.
Completely forgot about that.
Yeah. I thought that was quite a nice little nod that they managed to get in. So that's just a little nod back to L3 there.
Yeah. And then we can move on to Rogue One.
Wow, and one of the main men there.
Yeah, I would say K2 is definitely one of my favourites droids, just purely on sarcasm.
You must be really excited for Andor Series 2 then, because he's coming in it, apparently.
Absolutely, yeah. Get that partnership going.
Yeah.
Particularly one bit that I know made you laugh and made me laugh when he sort of pretended to be back as an Imperial droid and gave Andor a massive slap. Which, and he says something like, "There's more of that where that comes from. If you shut your mouth." And the fact that he hates being left out as well, like, you know, and he was such a hero at the end. Again, sort of a sad way to go. You know, he's such a good hero. The way he goes, but yeah, I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah, no, he was really good. Portrayed by Alan Tudyk. Give him his props. I think like the fact that, you know, like L3 and K2 and like these droids sort of sacrifice themselves to help everyone out is like a really good thing. I think, you know, shows how selfless they are and everything. But yeah, he's brilliant. Like, I love the whole bit where he's just like, do you want to know the probability of her using that blaster against you?
Yeah.
And he's just like, he's ignored him. And he's like, it's high. Really?
Yeah, exactly. And I think obviously with these double act with droids, so obviously we've got 3PO and R2 as a kind of nice double act. Do you know what I mean? Like, it really sort of complemented each other.
Yeah.
And I think Andor and K2 have a nice, because Cassian's a really serious, straight bloke, whereas obviously sort of K2 is really sarcastic, and that really works quite well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they have their dialogue, and I think that has a mass. That's obviously started off with the 3PO, you know, like sort of the straight up, you know, quoting sort of regulations, and he's like a government man, isn't he? Like, and no one listens to him, like quote the odds and shit. And then you got R2, obviously being really humorous, but then 3PO is sort of repeating what he's saying. Yeah, you know, and I think that's these double acts really work. They work so well, and I think that's another example with K2 and Andor.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, actually. When they work in pairs like that, it's good. Like L3 and Nando were like good bouncing off of each other, and yeah, like R2 and 3PO are kind of like a bickering old couple, aren't they? Really?
Yeah.
They really like each other, but they just wind each other up so much, and 3PO always bites, doesn't he?
Yeah, maybe that's what they're trying to do with Solo, you know, because obviously Lando is so womanizer and all the rest of it, and then you've the opposite of that would be a droid who is a bit maybe sort of wants to, you know, show the rights of droids and be a bit more feminist. You know what I mean? Like, so maybe that's what they were trying to do with it.
Yeah, maybe
the opposites again. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I've not
now discussing it
like that. Yeah, no, so yeah, so that's an interesting one to maybe have a delve into at some point in the future. But I showed my youngest Rogue One for the first time about a week or so ago. We got about an hour in before he started getting bored, which I thought was fine because there's quite a lot of talking in Rogue One, isn't there? Like, a lot of talking. But he really liked K2.
Yeah,
really liked it. He got the humour straight away. Yeah, and then he's just walking around the house now, just like I can hear him in the background. He's like, "Did you know that wasn't me?" Dad.
Brilliant.
Did you know that wasn't me? I'll give him a high five.
Yeah. Do you maybe need to be the serious dad then to get the old, the double act thing going?
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I'll be the government man. Yeah.
One needs to be the Morecambe, and the other one needs to be the Wise.
Hey, it's a tale as old as time, mate. It works, doesn't it? So
it does. Lauren Hardy, C-3PO, R2-D2.
I mean, we've got the height difference it's sorted out at the moment.
Yeah, true.
It's when he overtakes me at some point that we'll have to swap roles.
You're in trouble, yeah, exactly. When it comes to the serious one, you have to be the silly one.
Yeah. Just thinking Rogue One. I don't know if we see anything else.
Do you see a mouse droid in there? Do we see a mouse droid for the first time?
I was gonna say, no, I think there's a mouse droid in Revenge of the Sith, I think. But
true, yeah, there is. Yeah.
I was gonna save that for when we talk about episode 4.
When we talk about the real mouse droids.
Well, let's do it then. Episode 4, mouse droid.
Yeah.
Classic. You just know there's some like crew member just behind the camera of like a little remote control having the time of his life.
Yeah, going, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? Just like a little remote control car.
With a box.
Like, why is he? Yeah, exactly. With a box on top. Like, why are we doing this? This bloke's lost it.
Hey, George, is it nearly quitting time?
Yeah. This bloke, this American, right, he comes over here with this story and he gets me to drive a car for £100 a day in front of a massive bloke dressed up as a dog.
Nice work if you can get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant.
Just imagine that sort of British positivity on set, couldn't you?
Absolutely. Although, there'd be 3 other crew members behind him going, lucky bastard, all he has to do is drive a remote control car about.
I've got to wear this white suit.
It's bloody hot in here.
I can't see anything.
I think their technical name is like MSE, and then a number. Can't remember the number.
Right, okay.
But yeah, so that's kind of like, it's like mouse droid, but like MSE, and then like that's kind of where it comes from. And they're like, they just sort of scurry around doing like sort of maintenance jobs and stuff. Like,
yes, yeah.
I think, if I remember rightly, I think they can do a bit of like floor polishing and.
I was going to say the floors are very well polished, aren't they, in the Death Star? So
not half. Do you know, I think I remember reading or hearing J.J. Abrams saying that one of the biggest problems they had was like having those shiny floors in the sets because they just reflect everything.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And he was just like, I don't know how they did it in the 70s and 80s, but like we're struggling a bit here.
Yeah, of course. Oh, I've just had a little... You know who we missed out on the prequel?
Oh, go on.
R4. R4!
R4!
Of course.
Rest in peace, my brother.
Yeah. He played a significant role in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, yeah, I love R4, man. Yeah. Sorry, mate, we forgot you.
We forgot you with your little satellite. He's trying to get the message back to Coruscant.
Those bloody buzz droids, mate. Honestly, if I ever see them, I'll...
Yeah, completely destroyed him.
Innit? I mean,
sorry, as I said, we're going to be flicking around as we remember.
if we forget anyone, drop us a line on
Absolutely.
At UK Star Wars Pod, or on TikTok if you just search Co-Clearance Blue. YouTube again, search Co-Clearance Blue. If you put a comment, if we've missed anyone, if we've missed your favourite, or we haven't given anyone their props, do let us know and we'll give them a shout out in the next ep. But yeah, R4. Yeah. I mean, Obi-Wan's ship in that scene gets absolutely mullered.
Yeah.
It really does. And yet somehow he still manages to survive.
He still survives, yeah.
Plot armor. Totally. Love it. But yeah, I think, mouse droids were one of the ones I really thought of for A New Hope. On Tatooine as well, CZ3. Who we see
CZ3?
Yeah. Now I'm gonna test you. Now, where do you think we see him?
Fuck knows. CZ3. It's not with R5. He's not in the Jawa section, is he?
He is on Tatooine, but he pops up a little bit later on.
Oh, right. So the cantina or somewhere around there.
He's outside the cantina, just wandering around. It's kind of like a white droid with like a different face to C-3PO, but basically.
I know. Yeah,
that fella. Yeah, actually played by Anthony Daniels. I didn't know that until I started collecting the autographs. Yeah,
he wore a different suit.
Yeah, they just said, look, we need like some more sort of extras in the background and stuff. Do you mind doing this droid because you can fit the costumes, you know? So he got that one under his belt as well.
Oh, excellent. But yeah, I just popped, as I just said, then the one that's got a bad motivator. R5.
Yeah, R5. I was going to give him a massive shout out, and obviously resurrects his career in The Mandalorian as well, just as a...
Yes, that's right, he does.
Like we said, we didn't delve into the live action TV shows, but I mean, he does pop up in that as well, which was fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah, and obviously because he's got a bad motivator, then the whole universe changes due to R5 and his bad motivator.
Yeah, that's true. Just Phil for 10 seconds. I've got something to show you.
Okay.
I don't know why I didn't wear this. I should have worn this for the pod.
Ah, nice. I'm not lazy. I just have a bad motivator.
Isn't that class?
Yeah, very good.
Our mutual friend Graham got me this like many moons ago.
Excellent.
It's great, isn't it?
Very good.
Yeah, R5. Definitely a big shout out. And fair play to his Bad Motivator, because otherwise we might not have got that superb duo that we all know and love.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's it was a great part of the film, him blowing up.
It's just sliding doors moments, isn't it, mate?
Sliding doors, that's exactly it.
Gwyneth Paltrow was so right.
So we're sort of on Tatooine. Obviously, droids aren't allowed in the bar. This is part of an interesting sort of anti-droid movement in bars.
Yeah.
Where droids aren't allowed. Do we know why? Is it because they're up to something? Are they like an AI, that can steal money?
Just thinking off the top of my head right now, I think it's probably because they won't spend any money. But they'll take up room.
Very, very true. And it's kind of like, when you've got a dog and there's certain pubs that don't have dogs and you've got to leave your dog outside. It's kind of that kind of comment, isn't it?
You can say that to Chewie. I'm not telling him.
That's true.
But it's a similar thing, I suppose. Yeah.
Sort of treat. There is a definite downtrodden, and this again sort of gets mentioned with the young Leia. Sort of a downtrodden on droids. Sort of like, and she starts to speak up for droids, and her little droid called Lola, obviously, which you can still buy from shops for now £10, reduced from 60, as I keep seeing everywhere. If you go to the entertainer, there's Lola again.
Brilliant. They're like, please take 4 of them.
Yeah, exactly. Please. So the sort of people's attitude towards droids, sort of like, they get barred.
Yeah, well, because I literally watched Kenobi the night before we recorded this. There's that whole little scene on Alderaan where Leia's cousin's like, "Why do you say thank you to your droids?" Like,
yes,
and she's like, "Because it's good manners." And he's like, "But they're just doing their job. Like,
they're just droids.
Yeah, they're just droids. Yeah,
yeah.
Like, you don't need manners to talk to like lower life forms or something."
Exactly.
And then she's like, "Well, then I guess I don't have to have manners speaking to you."
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant Leia line, I think.
Yeah. That's good. What more can we think of droids? From
the old
Hope?
torture droid who goes to shoot up Leia with the old injector.
True.
There's that one.
Pretty nasty.
It's pretty sinister for the time, I think. Especially when you're a young kid as well. I always remember being a bit like, oh God, like, because it's a bit medical and a bit,
yeah,
a bit naughty. It's a truth serum that's inside that injector. If anyone's interested, by the way.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Vader's trying to get Leia to spill the beans and tries to do that, but she manages to resist still. So yeah, pretty good.
Nice. And I suppose the significant sort of an asteroid droid is sort of incorporated into the X-wing.
Yeah,
seems to be quite important.
Yes, as a co-pilot /
as a co-pilot. Yeah. So that's quite. They still have a major part in wars.
Yes,
when they built the X-wing.
To your point, you said the term earlier, like Swiss Army knife. They're kind of like a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
And they can open doors, they can hack into systems, they can like help co-pilot ships and stuff like that, and do repairs. So there's no surprise that they kind of have a space to fit them on, because otherwise you would literally be a one-man fighter, like completely on your own. And if something goes balls up in the air at the back, what can you do? Nothing really. So
yeah, sure. Yeah.
No, they're great. I'll say it now. R2 is like one of my favorite Star Wars characters out of everyone.
Yeah,
he's just brilliant, and he doesn't even talk. He doesn't even talk so that we can understand him. But he's amazing for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the best characters are mute.
But not on this podcast. Me and Paolo will never be mute. Don't worry.
No, they are. I'm just thinking of Gromit, from Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah, good, good shout.
Obviously, he's the brains. But anyway, we won't go down there and start reviewing those droids. But
Charlie Chaplin.
Charlie Chaplin, there you go. Oh, but yeah, I think that's sort of thinking off the top of my head, bit of New Hope. We can move on to Empire.
So 2-1B. Straight
2-1B,
into my
yeah.
head. The old medical droid.
Medical droid treating Luke, yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Doesn't say, it's just sort of, that's the first time we see that sort of droid, isn't it?
Yeah, with the back to tank and everything as well.
Yeah,
you know, if you're watching it in release order, obviously. Yeah. Yeah, no, he's great. I'd like to see him have like a little surgery. You know what I mean? He could have that waitress from Attack of the Clones as like his receptionist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That sort of had me a little from Revenge of the Sith, from Sith, thinking of when Padme's having the babies and we have this droid that makes this odd noise. Ooh, Shaw.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah. The
Sorry,
midwife.
we're jumping around again. The midwife, that's a droid. Ooh, Shaw. And then she's the one that breaks the bad news that she's dying, broken heart.
No, there is like a doctor droid there as well who comes out and says, like, medically she's perfectly healthy, but we're losing her. Yeah. And he even does this with his fingers where he's like that.
That's it.
So that's great. Yeah, she's got like one of her hands is like a scoop, isn't it? So she can just pick the babies up and
just scoop them out.
Keep them coming.
Keep them coming because it's that easy.
Yeah. Did she cut the umbilical cord? I don't know. We didn't see it.
Didn't see it, no.
Obi-Wan just starts walking off with it and he's like, hold on.
Come on, I can give this to a Jawa. I get some money for this.
Yoda just gets his lightsaber and goes, boop.
Yeah. Worth a bit of money, that on Naboo.
God, I'll tell you what. Not half. Yeah, I forgot about her. Visitor order.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry, flashback. As we're talking medical droids, it's sort of...
No, that's all good, mate.
It all comes together.
There's no rules on co-clearance blue. Come on.
No, we're trying to do it in order. There we go.
Yeah, but it'd be quite funny if he just like had a little surgery, like all the sort of rebel soldiers and stuff coming out, I've done my shoulder in and all that, you know, and he's just like, let's go and take a look at you.
Yeah, exactly.
Back to tank.
Back to tank.
Back to tank. Back to tank for you. Back to tank for you. Back to tank for you. I've only done my finger in. Back to tank.
Come on, in you go. Get your trunks on. So,
he's getting.
But then when children cut themselves, have a little cut. God, bloody hell! You think they need a back to tank the way they're talking?
Yeah, innit? I know. Yeah. What when the kids get like a paper cut and that?
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's move on. I'll get the back to tank. That's on my next line. I'll get the back to tank out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
From the shed.
See what they say. Yeah.
You have to go in that.
You know why paper cuts hurt so much though? Because they do, don't they? They hurt like a bitch, don't they?
Yeah.
It's because you've got more nerve endings in the end of your fingers than you have like sort of anywhere else.
Look at this, just full of so much knowledge. Back to tanks, nerve endings.
Well, you know, you pick things up, don't you?
You do. You pick things up.
Which is why when the droid does this, he's kind of like, oh, it hurts. But I can't take it away and show it because, you know, don't
because the paper cut.
So 2-1B's there, and then what else do we have in Empire? Oh well, we get a little bit like I really want to know, you know, when they're on Bespin and C-3PO says, "Oh, nice to see a familiar face," and then that droid's like "Echuda."
Yes,
I want to know what that is because that sounds like a swear to me.
Yeah.
Because
how rude.
Oh, how rude! Yeah, I really want to know what that droid said because it's delivered very forcefully and it just sounds like
very aggressive.
Yeah. I wonder what happened. Well, maybe something happened to that droid in that room that we don't know about.
We don't know of them, or he knew him from a different. Maybe he didn't have his memory wiped.
Oh,
maybe he knew 3PO from another brother.
Maybe Anakin had like a conveyor belt back on Tatooine where he just churned them out.
Just churn them out once you've done the first one. You know, just you can franchise it, mate. Franchise protocol droids.
Brilliant. Anakin's Protocol Droids Limited. Who else pops up in Empire? I mean, they've
Got a bit
lot
of
of
IG. I thought IG-88.
IG-88, yes.
So who had a huge, I suppose the same with Boba Fett, had a huge, like, I don't know, effect considering, I mean, obviously he's in the film less than Boba Fett, but considering he's just sort of standing there, you know?
Yeah. It's because he just looks cool, you know?
He does look so cool, yeah.
That whole scene, like all of them bounty hunters, everyone was like, they look really good and everything. But
they're so iconic, yeah.
I suppose because the mystery is that you don't really know anything about them and stuff, so you can make your own little backstories and stuff. But
yeah, totally.
Yeah, no, you're right. IG-88, yeah. He was built by the late Bill Hargreaves, who made a lot of models for Empire and Jedi.
Right, yeah.
IG-88 was one of his. Yeah, and in one of the, did you ever read that book, Tales of the Bounty Hunters, that was out?
No, I didn't.
You know what I mean, though, didn't you?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
So in that book, there's a chapter, and like I think Boba Fett's chapter is like what happens after that meeting.
Oh, okay.
And he takes IG-88 out, takes him out because IG-88 is planning to take all of the other bounty hunters out so that he can be the only one to track down Han.
Interesting.
Yeah, so Boba has to smash him up.
So a bit like sort of what Mando does to IG later. Takes him out, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he never. Yeah, he has to take him out because he's going to liquidize.
He's going to obviously kill
the asset.
The asset, yeah. yeah.
He's got so many names, that little dude, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. The asset.
But yeah, IG-88's a good one. Just trying to think if there's any others that pop up. We really should have just done our research, really.
Yeah, I know, but it's quite good doing it this way.
Yeah, it's more fun. Just trying to think.
We could move on to Jedi.
We could do.
I'm sure we're thinking.
Because there's a lot of Dagobah going on in Empire, so there's more natural nature. And
yeah, and obviously R2 plays a huge part in that, you know what I mean? Trying to, because obviously Yoda gives him a good old kick in. Give him a little tap, doesn't he?
Where's your tool?
Yeah, R2's trying to get his lunchbox back, Luke's lunchbox.
Yeah.
Hey, that's mine.
Brilliant.
So you're right. There's a lot, and obviously Hoth. We obviously have the droids that find the rebel base.
Oh, the Probot.
Yep.
Yeah, they're cool. Again, Mr. Hargreaves was very instrumental in building those. Yeah, I like them. I like the voice that they have.
Yeah, very good.
Very iconic. As soon as you hear it, you know exactly what it is,
Yeah, very good sound there.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then, Bespin, we see a familiar face.
Yeah.
And then there's not much left, really.
No, I think in Jedi you've got like the sort of the torture droid and the guy that's kind of the head of the torture droids, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, new acquisitions.
EV99, I think his name is.
Right.
New acquisitions. You are a protocol droid, are you not?
Yes or no will do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's just like people have got no time for 3PO, have they?
This is what I mean. But that's good comedy. You see, that's good comedy. I thought that little scene.
Absolutely, absolutely
disintegrated.
And then he's just like, "Who are you?" And R2 obviously gives him flips him off or whatever, and he's just like, "Well, you can serve drinks on the master's sail barge."
Yeah,
go on.
I mean, that's it. Like Luke gifts these two droids, and then Luke goes like, "What do you say? What I do? What I do wrong here?" Again, just battered. And then he's got to change his whole mindset. Again, shit. Now I work for fucking Jabba as a translator. It's lucky he's not autistic, isn't it? He'll be fucked throughout the job changes that guy's got to do. But again, he does a good job, and then he gets hit and bit of abuse in the job. Gets abused.
I love it. He does a good job. He does a great job. Brilliant. But he just gets bullied.
Mate, you can get away with that in the 80s. Can't get away with that now.
Well, maybe
if that was shot now, there'll be hell to pay. The fact that Jabba knocks him out.
I'm telling you, mate. HR would be busy.
Busy. 3PO would be busy.
L3 was onto something, I think.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? She was onto something.
And then obviously R2's just in on it. He's just in on the gag the whole way through. You know what I mean? Like, he's got a massive lightsaber in the top of his little bod. He's just one step ahead, isn't he?
Yeah, I love it. It's
like
what did I do wrong? Like, he didn't express any, like...
Doesn't even tell his best mate what the plan is.
Didn't even tell him. Didn't even say, don't worry, it's all right. Don't worry, everything's going to work out fine. Just relax. He's just like, yeah, it's bad, isn't it?
I'm going to do some drinks.
Just pootling around.
So good. Such good character development.
Yeah, they are great. I do love both of them together. Really good fun. Oh, mate, do you know what we've forgotten? And I meant to mention it ages ago.
Oh, yeah.
We've skipped past it. The old gonk.
Oh, the donk. That's not a gonk.
You should have bought a gun instead of a beer, mate.
Nah, I don't need a gun. I've got a donk.
You've got a what? Donk.
This is a gonk.
This is a gonk.
Yeah, the old gonk. They just wander around slowly.
They do, yeah, sort of just walking about. Wow.
They're just like giant batteries, aren't they? They're just surprised. They're not surprised. There's quite a few of them on Tatooine. You need the extra power out there, don't you?
You do, yeah. I forgot about the gonks. Good shout.
Yeah. And also, whilst we're still on Jabba's palace as well, by the way, the old
oh yeah, of course. This is the only way we're going to start doing it now. Only by sort of like noises.
Yeah, I think his name's like FZ-172 or something. I don't know.
And he does pop up again, doesn't he? You know, Mando.
He does. Never mind your Ring doorbell. You want to get one of them bad boys.
That scene, right, where he comes flying out and just says that, whatever you just said. And then, goodness gracious me. In the most campus way. And it's just so good, you know?
Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah. So, cracking. That's a great scene.
It is good. And like every household could do with one of them, because it's just like, you wouldn't like, like the old Jehovah's give you a knock up or whatever.
Yeah, some of them the other day.
He can poke his head out and just be like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be good. I mean, it was the Ring doorbell before the Ring doorbell, right?
Exactly.
During the 80s. So,
like all these science fiction films, like, they had like FaceTime and stuff, and it all comes true in the end. That was definitely like the old camera Ring doorbell banter.
Yeah. Very good.
Doubt. And then old Bib Fortuna's got his mobile out and he's like, a couple of droids outside.
Yeah.
Master, a couple of droids.
Oh, must be a gift.
Let them in. Again, like my youngest really likes that bit where Free-PO is like, oh, we better knock, I suppose. And he just goes, like, my youngest loved that bit, cracked him up.
Brilliant, excellent.
So good.
It is good.
Yeah. So then who else have we got? Then we've got anything else knocking about?
No, I mean, we've got the Imperial side of things. Again, they're just the sort of mouse droids. I've got any, not really. There's no sort of droids on Endor, because obviously it's a very nature. It's very real, isn't it?
I think 2-1B pops up, or his brother or sister pops up in the old briefing scene.
Yes.
He's knocking about,
he's in there.
Yeah, just in case anyone, I was going to say, gets a paper cut off the documents, but they don't use paper in Star Wars, do they? So
no.
Eye strain from looking at the holograms.
That's it. So, I mean, and obviously 3PO tells his story and becomes a god. Yeah. So let's talk about droids maybe being gods.
Yeah.
I've sort of seen that before,
No, the Ewoks put him on a high pedestal.
A droid, a god, what's the story there from the Ewoks?
Is it because he's golden colour, or is it because he's a droid and they don't really know what they are because they've never seen them before, or they're very rare?
Yeah, or it could just be something previous, maybe a a protocol droid, 100 years before was the savior of their planet or something. I'm sure there's a comic book somewhere.
I'm telling you, mate, we need season 2 of The Acolyte. These questions would get answered 100 years ago.
Down in the old Endor.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. Maybe they've either experienced one before who like really looked after them, or it's just something to do with the color of him or something. It's just like in their culture, they're just like, oh,
it's just so different.
Yeah, it's a good shout.
So yeah, he was like, I think I'm some sort of god.
R2 gets his little chainsaw out, doesn't he, to cut the net?
He does. Another little Swiss Army.
Honestly, it's just like Deus Ex Machina, isn't he? Like whatever they need in the situation, it's like, hold on, let me rummage in my bag. Yeah, there we go.
And then obviously Luke uses the Force to let sort of 3PO fly about a bit.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh, I never thought I had it in me." He's like, "Did you think you did that?" Like,
See, as a kid, that really confused me. Because obviously Luke just shuts his eyes, like he just looks like he's going to sleep. You know what I mean? So I never put 2 and 2 together. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because obviously of that comment, I never knew how it in me. It's like, oh wow, like how did he do that? Was it the fire lifting him or? And if you look at it now, he doesn't really do much. He just literally goes around, does a spin, and comes back down again. But, it's big news in the Endor village.
You better watch yourself, otherwise I'll do my spin.
The Endor village, he just refuses to lie as well, didn't he? Just tell them, use your magic. What magic?
It goes against my protocols. Han Solo he gets so fucked off with 3PO, doesn't he, all the time?
Yeah.
Cracks me up. That bit when he's just like, we're now part of the tribe, and Solo's like, ask him how far the shield generates, and he goes to do it, and then he pulls him back, and he's like, and try and get our weapons back, and he's like, and all that, and then he's like, hurry up, will ya?
Yeah, I do that to our kids all the time. It really fucking winds them up.
What, you do it to the kids?
Yeah. Like, so when are you gonna be ready? Come on, get ready. Come on, hurry up, will you? What? Just don't let them answer.
Brilliant.
They get really stressed. It's funny.
No comment.
So yeah, cool. Well, we can move on to our favourites, the sequels.
Oh yeah, everyone's favourites. Obviously the poster boy or girl, depending, I don't know, but BB-8. Got nothing against BB-8 personally, but apart from the fact he stole a lot of screen time away from R2, basically.
Yeah, because obviously R2 wasn't in the first one at all, really.
Yeah, just near the end.
Yeah.
He's been in low power mode ever since Master Luke buggered off.
Yeah.
Boo! We want more R2.
Exactly.
I was a bit disappointed by that. That's the sort of thing I get disappointed by. Not raised too overpowered or whatever. It's like there's just not enough R2 in it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, yeah, there is that, and I don't know. Like BB-8, he was a great design, and it's a good idea. He has, again, some tools, and I think Finn and him sort of like, Finn's obviously trying to cover up his part of the rebellion and stuff to her, and obviously BB-8 sort of goes along with it and tells them where they go and everything. So yeah, I think he's not annoying at all. He is a good sidekick, and obviously him and Poe are very good mates.
Yes.
So again, you've got that sort of double duo thing going on.
Yeah, I do like BB-8. He's like he's kind of like a cheerful, happy chappy version of a droid, isn't he? Like,
yeah,
just kind of never gets fazed by much. Does the old thumbs up and stuff, doesn't he? And all that.
Yeah. He was a lot heavily involved in the first one more than really the other two, I think.
Yeah.
But that's obviously because Rey found him, and there's sort of Rey's story on Tatooine. Oh no, I didn't mean Tatooine. Sorry. he's good, but he's obviously nowhere near he's not my favourite, and he's not really near the not the other two.
He's a fantastic piece of like engineering in terms of like the way they made him and everything. And, you know, it's kind of a mixture of remote control and puppeteering and everything. And he looks really great.
Yeah.
And it's always funny, like when his head pops off or whatever, and he's just like rolling around and then pulls it back with magnets or whatever and all that sort of thing. I do like the bit in Last Jedi where he just like, he's trying to fix the ship from inside and he just gets so hacked off of it that he just smashes his head into it. He's just like, fuck this.
True, yeah.
It's like giving the telly a whack when it don't work properly back in the old days.
Yeah, totally. No, I mean, I wouldn't say there's a huge amount of droids in the trilogy, the whole trilogy. You know what I mean? Like, if you obviously we have another little droid pop up in sort of the last film, but yeah, I mean, you know, there's the obviously BB-8 version, the bad one.
Oh yeah, BD9 something, 9E or something.
Yeah,
the black version.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So you've got sort of the baddie.
But do you know what though? Like he's barely in The Last Jedi, and yet when Battlefront 2, the computer game, came out, he's a playable character.
Right.
Like they put him in there as like because BB-8's in it. I suppose they needed to have like someone on the sort of like the dark side team that was like equivalent, so they stuck him in, I guess. But to me, that would be like, oh, he must have like a fairly big role in the film if he, or at least pops up a lot, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah, I suppose because he could have potential. Do you know what I mean? Of being a decent droid, but yeah, they didn't really feature him that much. But
no. And then was it? You mentioned Dio from The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. And they become little buddies, don't they? BB-8 and Dio, sort of like together having a little chat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have many droids, and then suddenly you got fucking two at once, having a chat in their own little beep 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 beep.
Did I don't know if you made the connection or not, but you know when Rey soothes that big snake and like with the Force and like heals it and everything.
Yeah,
and then she says to BB-8's like, "What did you do?" Like obviously, whatever, and she's like, "Oh, I just transferred some life force from myself to it." And then she's like, and he obviously says something like, "Oh, you're amazing" or something. And she's like, "Oh, you'd do the same if you were in my position." He actually does that later on when he powers up Dio.
That's true with Dio. Yeah,
it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. Again, I think Dio's a really good looking droid. You know, he's little sort of really good looking.
Yeah, decent little design.
Good design, you know.
Was it a Poe? Poe calls him Cone Face or something, doesn't he?
Yeah, sort of. Doesn't like him so much.
No, I don't know if it's that. He just doesn't know his name, does he?
No,
no. It's like that little droid that's got some information. It's like, well, who? Coneface? Do you know who does the voice?
No.
Do you want to have a guess? It's not an actor, but it's someone very heavily involved in the sequels.
Is it got to be a director?
Might be.
Is it the director?
We're going to need an actual name here, Paul.
Oh, okay. Which director we go with? Should we go with our favourite director? No, it wouldn't be Rian Johnson on that one. Would it be right? No, it was the other one. What's his name? I forgot his name now.
You said everyone but now.
I know. I'm sorry, listeners and viewers. My mind's gone blank.
It's not Richard Marquand.
I don't know. Go on, tell me his name.
J.J. Abrams.
J.J., yes, of course.
Hell.
Fuck you, J.J.
But not really. Feel free to come on as a guest on the podcast.
Yeah, of course. He might not want to do anything we do with Star Wars now.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. He's probably washed his hands of it now.
So, I'm over money.
Yeah, he was all right. He was quite fun. I can't really think of any other.
No, not anything. That's what I mean. We didn't have any sort of distinctive ones. They seemed to take a bit more of a back seat. And even 3PO and R2-D2 took more of a back seat, I would say, you know.
Well, I was going to ask you actually, because you did mention it earlier in the pod, but I think for me, Rise of Skywalker is like one of C-3PO's best appearances in the franchise.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of stuff to do, like emotional stuff, as you alluded to. and he becomes like a pivotal part of the plot because obviously he reads the dagger and everything.
Yeah.
What did you make of Anthony Daniels' performance in that one?
Yeah, I thought it was, again, really good because it's just a different take of it, a different take of the character. And, they've swapped heads with him. He's been different colours. He has a red arm, doesn't he, in this one?
No, in The Force Awakens.
Force Awakens,
yeah.
red arm, yeah. I thought it was that is a good scene where he might not be able to come back, and then he has the red eyes and sort of it's inscribed in my memory.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was like that whole scene where he's just like sort of looking at everyone because he knows he's not going to remember who they are later and everything was like pretty powerful. And given the fact that he's just like a static face, I think there's a lot of emotional heft going on there still.
Yeah, static face. You're right. Like, there's no facial acting going on, and it still was quite a good. Obviously, the way the line was delivered.
Yes, the vocal delivery definitely helps, but I don't know. This is like the body language as well and everything. I just think Anthony Daniels really nailed it, and it was nice that he got to do something like that as well. Because sometimes the droids do get sort of shunted to the sides, and they just come in and make a quip or two and then go again. But in Rise, he definitely got a time to shine, I think.
Yeah. So it's good that they sort of brought them back in that last film a little bit more. But yeah, R2-D2 didn't really have much to do in the sequels, really.
No, justice for R2.
Justice for R2, yeah. But then obviously 3PO did come back. Was it The Mandalorian or was it Ahsoka? Ahsoka, yeah.
Did that one scene, didn't he?
That one little scene in court, yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
So it's sort of good to see him weaved in.
Yeah, no, that was good. I wonder if Daniels has got one more performance left in him, maybe because he's quite old now. I think he's like getting up to pushing. He's late 70s, I think.
Yeah, he must be. He must be like so fucking scared to put weight on, just in case he's asked for another role. Do you know what I mean? You're like, oh shit.
Well, I'll be honest with you.
Not the size I am when I was fucking 20 or whatever.
I'll be honest with you. I've never been asked to be his understudy. Let's put it that way. But yeah, you're right. He must be like, if I take a job and they want me to put a few pounds on, if I get the phone call from Lucasfilm, I'm fucked. Like,
and he's done well. Like, that is sort of pretty much the only films he's been in.
Yeah, I mean, he's done all. He's been in every single film, hasn't he? Because in Solo, he's like out of costume.
Yeah.
And he does that in Attack of the Clones. He's in Attack of the Clones twice, really, because he's in the bar and he's also 3PO.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's done amazingly well out of it. I mean, he does a lot of the smaller stuff as well, like the theme parks and sort of like appearances on TV and things like that. Like as 3PO, like by and large, I think he does it, especially back in the old days when the first when the New Hope like first came out and everything. Like if they needed 3PO, he went and did it, and that was back then when they Lucasfilm were pretending that they didn't really give him much of a spotlight because they wanted everyone to believe that it was real, like a real robot. And he often talked about feeling like marginalized and not really part of the gang because, you know, Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher and all that lot were going out and doing all the interviews and stuff and being invited to premieres and getting to do chat shows and all that sort of thing. But it was just like he was never sort of afforded the same level of involvement until a few years down the line where they started sort of like putting his name on the poster and sort of like allowing him to go and do stuff like interviews like as himself, you know.
Yeah. No, excellent. Yeah, I mean, he's been very consistent with the performance, and I do obviously think, being massively biased, that the original trilogy, they were the funniest, and his voice has changed, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, the sequel does sound slightly different to the original, but that's sort of going to happen, do you know what I mean? Like, it definitely feels a bit more, I don't know if it's just better quality or it's just slightly different, but yeah, a bit posher.
I've never bumped into that, actually. I thought it was pretty much the same.
Pretty consistent, yeah. It's slightly different, I would say. Like,
okay.
slightly posher, maybe. But yeah, I think, but certainly the performance in the original trilogy. Yeah, so it's good to see him turn to the dark side. Happens to the best of us.
All have our bad days, don't we?
And it would have been great if Palpatine went, I'm all the Sith, and then I'm all the droids came in.
That'd be amazing.
That would be good. So
You just get a random load of like bleeps and bloops and stuff, and someone to see you, honey.
so yeah, I think definitely the two are the favourites alongside K2. I think is my favourite really as well.
Yeah, K2's definitely put himself up there, and it's going to be great to see him back in Andor 2.
Yeah,
those droids, those security droids, pop up a lot in the Jedi Fallen Order game.
Oh, right, great.
There's a level where you go to Kashyyyk and there's like an abandoned Imperial outpost there, and like when you go inside, there's still stormtroopers and those security droids just like patrolling around and stuff.
Excellent.
So you never know, more live action or animation stuff comes through from that time period. We might get a few more of those bad boys knocking about, maybe. But obviously K2's been reprogrammed, so they would just be straight up bad droids. But yeah, great stuff.
Nice.
Can't really think of anything else from the sequels off the top of my head.
No, I had a quick look around and I couldn't see there wasn't anything apart from the first ordered version of BB-8 is called BB-9E. So
9E.
Missed the E.
Easy E.
It's a BB-9 unit, not a BB-8 unit.
Right. So does that mean he's better? I mean, he saw through that box disguise straight away, didn't he?
He did. Yeah, he did, yeah.
He's like, you're not fooling me.
He knew exactly what was going on. More fucking clever than the stormtroopers, but...
Isn't it?
Excellent. Well, that probably concludes our droid review.
Yeah,
pretty a longer episode this time, but
pretty comprehensive. I think it's all right. It's all right. As I say, if you have your favourite droids, do let us know who it is on Twitter at UK Star Wars Pod, YouTube Code Clearance Blue, TikTok Code Clearance Blue as well. If we've missed anyone out, forgive us. I mean, there are quite a lot knocking about. Let us know as well, because we'll happily chuck them into the list. But yeah, I think, is there anything else you want to add, mate? Any propaganda over the past week or so with the kids? Or?
No, I've just been doing it myself, sort of like in the evenings, watching more. Like I said, I did watch Rogue One the other night, which I thought was great to reminisce.
Yeah.
I will need to watch Andor again because of obviously what's coming up in April. But yeah, no, I need to watch. To be honest, I really want to watch the Clone Wars again. It's been a long time since I watched that.
Nice.
So there's lots of. I don't watch, like I said to you before, I don't really watch anything new.
Yeah.
I just haven't watched Game of Thrones. Barely got through The Sopranos. Just done Mad Men. 10 years behind, mate. There's this great series called The In-Betweeners. Don't know if you heard about it.
Paul, you're playing catch up. Here's another catchphrase.
Exactly, yeah. So, and then I just end up just going back to Star Wars and watching another thing, because I know it would, it'd be a good thing to watch.
Yes, of course. It's like the comfort blanket where you're just like, screw it, I'll just stick on. Because or maybe we can do an episode of the podcasts in March where if we get our skates on and rewatch Andor Series 1, we can have a little think about what might happen in the next series and stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's lots to talk about. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be good. As I say, don't shoot us down. We didn't mention Chopper. We didn't mention Hyundai. What's his name?
Yeah, Hyundai.
Hyundai from Ahsoka. So all that lot. So feel free to let us know if you like them, because they are all cool. But we just didn't include them today because otherwise we'd be talking to you for like 3 hours.
True, yeah.
And droids, no one wants that.
And the latest droid, there's a couple of droids as well in Skeleton Crew. One being the Master Droid.
SM-33, of course.
SM-33.
Yeah.
Both British actors. The not the General, what's his name? Stephen Fry's character.
Oh, not Chancellor, the receptionist.
The receptionist.
Not the creator. What was he called?
Oh, I don't know.
The governor? No.
No, not the governor. We've lost.
The Mac Daddy?
Yeah, it was another.
He was, yeah, but he wasn't that great though. He was just like a big red eye, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Basically, like Hal.
Expected more.
Yeah.
Stuff. And we'll be back next week. With
Yeah,
another
nice
episode
one.
Anyway,
Yeah, sounds good.
thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, cheers for tuning in, and we'll say may the force be with you all.
Starting our approach, deactivate the security shield.
Security deflective shield will be deactivated when we have confirmation of your code transmission. Stand by.